Well, here's the beach. It's one of these little rocky ones. We do have some local fishermen around. The water is so clear. Here we've got a submarine.
Together, what you can do in the free time and of the history of the island of Korkula. Because the first visitors on this island were the Greeks, who came here in the 4th century before Christ. They didn't come here to the town of Korkula, they came to Lumbarda. And Lumbarda is actually the first place which you could see as you entered in the channel of Korkula, 7 kilometers eastern from here, at the eastern end of this island. And from this period, we have a written document which is called Lumbarda Stapsefisma. It was one of the oldest written documents on this part of Europe. And this was actually a contract between the Greeks and the local people, the Illyrians, where they decided how to divide the land between each other, who they have to obey. And this contract ended with 200 names of the Greeks and the local town. The first written information about the place on this small peninsula where the old town is today, they are dating from the 10th century. Probably there was a settlement even earlier, but the 10th century, the first written documents. Beginning of the 11th century, the Venetian came here as rulers. And then from the 11th till the 16th century, the town reached its golden years. Which means that in the 16th century, most beautiful palaces were built in the old town already. Like I said, completely different than in Dubrovnik. No steps going up. In general, wherever you are later on in the old town, you will need to go the steps down on the walls. The whole circle around to this point lasts 10 minutes. If you go straight to the right-hand side,
The walls were twice as high as they are today.
And it's actually very important because this church was the first bishop seat. After this church, our cathedral was built and the bishop palace, to which we will come a little bit later.
Another charming medieval roadway. Today we call it a narrow path. We're on our way to the city hall. Well, here we are inside the city gate, and those stairs that we did not climb, we went around the corner. Yeah, good plan. It's a town hall. Late 1500s.
Behind this town hall used to be the palace of the Venetian governor, where he was living, ruling in the town. And today, both of these buildings, they're connected in their different offices, like taxes, town government. You know, all these offices which are necessary that a town like Korkula survives today. Because the town is not only the cultural, it is also the political center of the Sailing Island. And not only important for the people here on the island, and also important for the people from the mainland, from the peninsula.
Church of St. Michael, 17th century. Connected to this is the Brotherhood House.
As a brotherhood of shipbuilders, we have a brotherhood of Saint Rocco as a brotherhood of stone towers, and a brotherhood of Saint Peter as a brotherhood of traders.
The main street dividing the town. On the left-hand side, the streets are straight so that the nice breeze can come in. Right, they're all crooked so that it slows down the winter cold wind. A very small little church here, people buried in the ground, but a pretty nice mosaic behind the altar. It's a cathedral.
Not only here in Korkula, Dubrovnik, which you already saw, or Split, Trogir, all these places are very good to compare with these typical doors and windows which are connected in one like here on the ground floor.
These, of course, were shops. Got into the shop, opened the window, and sold off the counter.
And always on the top floor, but always on the top floor used to be the kitchen.
This was the
Today
bishop's
not anymore.
palace.
Today our bishop is sitting in Dubrovnik. He is ruling the southern Russian district. But despite the fact that the bishop is in Dubrovnik, our cathedral is still having the title of the cathedral, and the house is still more or less in use of the church. Down is the office of our priest, up there is his flat, and in the middle another collection, the treasury collection, which are also directly to the First they needed to go to the baptistry, then in the church inside. Today, through the baptistry, after 70 steps and 20 kuna entrance fee, you can get to the top of the bell tower, and then you can say that you're officially on the highest point in the old town.
St. Mark. Oh, Adam and Eve. This is the oldest church, Church of St. Peter, built in the 1100s and rebuilt in the 1300s. Polo was born here in 1254.
The problem is he cannot prove this. The other problem is Peter cannot. So I admit that the answer is somewhere in the middle. Why we believe that he's from Korkula, there are many reasons. I will just mention a few of them. We still have family Polo living here in Korkula. We still have his house. We were never saying he was not a Venetian. Technically saying he was. He was born here in the 13th century, period of the Venetian rulership in Korkula.
We've just climbed this tower, and here's the view of the mainland. This is Marco Polo's house without the roof. Of course, evidently, people in Venice claim that he was born there. The people here have a pretty strong case.
I tell you, all of a sudden you're a picture taker.
All of these houses have the kitchens on the top floor. If there was a fire, you could go down and escape. The smells didn't go downstairs. You had a better view, and you probably had a better breeze. We can look over here at the top of the cathedral, too. Not going to climb that one. Closest we're going to get to these old tiles. And what they did was they took the clay and they molded it across their thigh. As you can see, they're about the size from the hip to the knee and have the curvature of the leg. And that's how they used to make it. Well, we're below the city walls. It used to be twice this high. And there's an entrance. You can get down into the water, I guess go snorkeling around, swimming. More steps where boats would have tied up. And another entrance to the water. And very windy. This is the side of the island that gets those good cooling breezes. An example of a pretty straight street to catch the breezes. Here's one of the towers. This is a round tower. Two are square. There are several others are round. Looks like this one's been sliced. Oh, probably when they cut down the city walls. Here's another one of the towers, and this one's right above our boat. Here we can see what it looks like inside this big tower. You can imagine there were cannons placed at each one of those openings. And the ceiling's quite high up there. My guess is I'm on top of what was another section of the city walls with a round tower. Houses. Nice metal balcony. These are supposed to be the windy streets. They do have a little bit of a twist. And here's the nice clear water. Someone out there fishing. Very peaceful. Now here's an idea for mulch. What a good use for old corks.